Hey guys, hope you're all well. Right, just going to get some updates done on the Enfield. I've been ploughing along with it here and there, sorting the couple of little issues out, getting indicators working. I've now solved that. We'll take a look in a minute. I've been away for a couple of days over the weekend. That was nice. Had a bit of time out from the bloke up north. Yeah, we went to Wales and obviously ended up crawling inside a mountain. That was great fun. I've actually put the first video to that out on the other channel if you wish to have a look. The second one will be out very soon, and we do have a few more plans to do something up his neck of the woods, up in that Yorkshire area. We've got some plans. I'm hoping to get a couple of bits in before I'm out the game with this shoulder operation. I have now got the dates for that. What is it? It's like a pre-op thing on the 17th of September. I think that's just to see if you're healthy enough for them to put you to sleep and cut open, I guess. I'm not 100% sure. This is a first for me. So after that, on the 8th of October, I'm in for the operation, which it's not the operation I'm bothered about. It's afterwards that I've said earlier, that's the bit that's really bothering me. It's the possibly 2 months of not being able to do much at all, and apparently I really have got to behave myself with this one and keep that arm in a sling, because if I go and tear the repair, then apparently I am in all sorts of trouble. So yeah, that's going to be tough. That is going to be very difficult, because normally I just like to plough on. We've all had loads of injuries over time. I broke my hand once. I got back, cut the plaster off, carried on working. This is different. This is muscle and things like that have completely torn through. I have now found out exactly what it is. I've had a letter explaining it. I can't tell you the words of what these doctors call individual body parts. It was some weird word that I couldn't remember for the life of me. So it's a muscle that comes from your back through and over your shoulder. That's the one that's torn all the way through, and I need some bits from somebody else to patch it up. So yeah, I can't remember the name of it. No idea. There's several different tendons and muscles that make your arm and shoulder operate. It's quite a complex joint, and this one is one that helps you lift your arm up. Hence why I can't do it. Everything's from the elbow sort of thing. I can go up a little bit, but then it just stops, and it's a little bit painful. So it's the aftermath that I'm worried about. I've seen in the comments that quite a few people actually was agreeing to set up a GoFundMe thing. Fantastic. To be honest, I'd prefer to sell things as I always do on eBay. And so I've come up with a sticker. It's just a bit of fun. I've come up with this sticker, which is quite sort of apt for the pending doom that I'm heading for of 2 months of possibly not being able to do much. So I've come up with this sticker. It's just a bit of fun. So yeah, that I'm sure you all possibly know somebody you could have that sticker for a bit of fun to put on their toolbox, just for a laugh, bit of banter and all that, or on the back of their van. Not if they've got a really new posh van though, they'd probably get quite upset about that. So yeah, I've come up with that. Literally I'm going to be out of action. So that I've done that. We'll call it the support sticker of silly old me being out of action. So that's going to be there, and I just thought it was a bit better than a GoFundMe thing, and it's just like me carrying on as normal, selling a few things on eBay as I do. So that's what that's there for. No one's arm's got to be twisted up their back for it. It's just a bit of fun. Anyway, we got more plans to do a bit before I am out of action, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And oh, get up, get my whole bones up. It's still early, the bones are still cold. So yeah, Enfield then. I had a good mess about with the indicators. That bit's now solved. The switches work. I've still got to wire the horn up. It's all in place. It's all connected, but it's still a mess. I'm not tidying all the wires up till I've got absolutely everything complete. So all I've got left to do now is basically the front lights, the light in the indicator and stuff like that, the light switches. Again, that it's quite a fiddly job. That's going to take me a while. So we'll just catch little bits of it. But we have, let's turn the ignition on. We have flashy things. There we go. And we've got that flashing. You might see that I've changed these to 2 indicator warning lights. I'm just trying to do things simple. Trying to run the indicators through 1 warning light, it just lived everything up, and they were like hazard lights. So I've just made it simple. I've broken them into separate sort of little harnesses. There we got that side and that side flashing. Something had to go in there because the holes were there, so I think that we'll get away with that. At the end of the day, I've said this before, whoever ends up with this bike, it's their bike. They can chop and change things. They can change the colour of it, put chrome wheels in, but whatever. It's their bike, whoever ends up with it, and it's theirs to do as they please with. So, you know, one of you guys might end up with this and think, you know, I'd like to change the colour on it, or I'd like to add this or do that, you know, just to make it your own little thing. We all do personal things to our bikes to make it our own. And yeah, they're more than welcome to do that. It's their bike, whoever wins it. Anyway, so today we're going to continue with sorting the lights out. I don't know how far we'll get. I've got a friend coming over today, the BSA from the BSA videos. Someone now has bought that. They're just arranging for it to be collected. So later on when my friend turns up, we're probably going to give that a final clean over and stuff, make sure it's all tip top for when it's collected. Yeah, basically just going to keep plowing on. Let's see what we can do with these lights. Okay, moving forward a little bit. I've done a basic plan to try and do the lights on a bit of an harness that I make off the bike and then connect it all to the bike. So I've got a very rough sort of idea here. I'm going to use the battery to replicate the power coming from the ammeter, so we can then figure what's best to put to the switch. Obviously this is off, on, I-beam. That's what that switch is. And then if I make a bit of an harness outside the bike, like I say, and then put all the plugs on the bike, so this will basically be made out here and then fitted to the bike. That's the simplest way my mind will do it. I'm not gonna lie, my head's frying a little bit with this wiring, but hey, we've all got them jobs we're not so keen on. I actually can't wait till I get back to cutting pieces of metal and hitting them with hammers. That is my favourite part, but we've got to take the rough with the smooth. So yeah, I'm going to plod along with that sort of idea. We'll do little catch-ups of the stages I'm going through until we have got some lights on the bike. Anyway, let's crack on. Right, moving along with the switch nicely. Yeah, it's quite a few lives got to spur off this. I guess it doesn't matter where you connect them in the, you know, in the run of wires. So what I've done a few off this one because it's only really safe to put one wire out of these connectors here. This one I'm doing now is for the high beam. So what I've done on this, just to make things a little bit safer, is put this shrink wrap round. So obviously the live comes in there. This is the back of the switch. which rotates a little noggin in there that makes connection with these poles. So just to do that, put a little nick in there, and that actually opens up a little bit for the contact when we're shrinking it on. So that over there just makes things a little bit tidier than leaving them hanging out the side, because obviously we've got very limited area to put the switch in, and everything's got to be facing that way and not hanging out the sides. So I just shrink that on. And then we'll operate the switch a little bit, make sure that contact does go through. That little nick we put in the side. We'll just test that actually. Let's put a live on. That's coming off the battery. Yeah, you see that. That's now live. Turn it off. That's I-beam off. Yeah. Turn it on, we should have the full 12. Yes, sorted. Let's disconnect that. And what we can do now, that's all the wires that I need on that switch. Shape them up a little bit. If we shrink all them together, that should keep all that safe. There we go. Okay, moving forward nicely. Like I say, this is just a bit of a catch-up thing. My brain's frying with this. So, I'll put the camera on the stand in a minute, we'll have a look. Yeah, I know we're looking a bit of a mess at the minute, but I need to go through this stage of connecting everything, improving everything before we finalise it all, and then tidy it all up and reconnect things. This stray wire here is for the light in the speedo. Everything else is connected, but yes, there's a but. I've got to look at the wiring on the ignition switch again. So these Enfields have 3 stages on the ignition. Center is completely off. One way lies everything up, and I do believe you can go back another way. On the standard bike, it might be like a park light or something like that. I never wire them up with that stage of the ignition on. I do everything off the one click, one way. But all my main lights seem to be only working on that other stage when you turn it the other way. And I do also believe that way it won't fire. Yeah, so I've got a bit of messing about to do there. Hopefully it's something really simple, but we are so close. To be honest with you, I'm getting a bit a bit fed up with these last few videos of just trying to trawl through this, scratching my head and trying to like share a little bit here and there. It's one of them. It's a stage of the build that I have to go through. I can't wait till we're doing something really, really interesting again, and bashing things and folding metal and making shapes, or I'm finishing the RM off instead of trawling through wires. And obviously the main one, starting this bike up. But anyway, let's have a look. So obviously I've got everything out. The switch has obviously got to go up here, but I'll say everything's hanging out to prove everything. So the normal way of the switch, that way, we have the indicators, we have the horn, but we don't have the lights. But we're banging that the other way, and we have the lights and the I-beam. Where are we? Yeah, there we are. Everything's fine. At least we know it. Everything's all okay up here. It's just something in the ignition switch that needs swapping round. I do find sometimes with these aftermarket Enfield ignition switches, sometimes things can be slightly different on them. I have found that over all the ones I've bought over the years. So I've got to have a quick dive into that. I'm not going to do it now because I've actually been on this for quite a while trying to suss all this out. But yeah, I'm going to have a bit of a dive into the ignition switch and sort out what's going on in there and get it all corrected, so we're on the one click that lights everything up on the bike. Yeah, nearly there. Right, that'll do. I'll say it's just a little bit of a catch up. I think we'll probably have one more catch up on the wiring. It's actually making me cringe putting wiring videos out because one, I ain't enjoying it, and two, I can only imagine it's pretty boring, but it is part of the build. So yeah, if I sort of do it as little updates, I feel better about doing it that way than just filming connectors, soldering. Yeah, it's just no. Anyway, we're nearly there. We are so close with the wiring now. Just then couple of little bits to sort out on the ignition, so we get the lights firing up on the right click of the ignition, and then we are sorted. It'll be just a case of tidying all this up, putting the switches in, getting it all neat, and that'll be it. Job done. It's just a little handful of things I've got to go around. Obviously I've got to put the clutch cable on and stuff, just little bits, and then I'll set the time in and we'll fire this bike up. Yes, everyone cross their fingers for that because I'm hoping it's just going to fire into life and behave itself. So yeah, one more little update on the wiring. I'll just show you that everything's now correct and all the wiring's tidied up, and then the video after that should be oils in the engine and see if this thing will start. I'll link it to the fuel can. I've got that thing there. We'll link it up to that and see if it starts. And the final thing, tank and mudguard back on painted, finished. Pull someone's name out, ship the bike off to them. Tick in the box. Anyway, that'll do. Thank you all again for supporting with the special stickers and everything. Much appreciated. If you do go buy one of these, I appreciate it all. One of the silly stickers. And yeah, we'll have all this done and dusted before I go into hospital and get chopped up. That'll do. Cheers for watching, guys. Take care.